everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be another first impression, yay or nay, video in my little series. My last video, if you haven't checked it out yet, was a first impression on the Neutrogena Healthy Skin, or not Healthy Skin, Hydra Boost Foundation, which turned out to be a yay in my book, despite the applicator and all that fun stuff. But you can go ahead and watch that video. I'll put it in a card or something up above. But today's video is very exciting, as I get excited for almost all of my videos. Today I'm going to be testing out and giving my first impression on the new NYX Total Control Foundation Drops, which seem to be all over YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. You know, it's very, very popular, and I'm really excited to be giving it a shot today. I'm also going to be doing a little first impression on something from NYX, which is their Away We Glow liquid highlighter. That's also new to their line. I picked up the shade Crystal Glare, which is a really pretty kind of goldish, like a pale gold kind of color. So I'm very excited to be trying those as well. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into this first impression. This is what the packaging for the NYX drops looks like. It just comes in a small black box. It has your details and description on what the product does, a little how-to on the back of the box, and all your ingredients. And this has a shelf life of 24 months, which is pretty cool. For all those of you who don't know, on your packaging of your makeup, this little symbol right here tells you the shelf life of your makeup. So in 2 years I'm going to have to replace this, and I'm pretty sure I'll probably use it all by then if I like it. We shall see. But yeah, that's just a little fun tip I learned within the past year as I got more and more into makeup. So I'm going to go ahead and open the box. And this is what the bottle itself looks like. It's pretty small. You only get 0.43 fluid ounces in the bottle, so it's smaller than most other foundations. Just for comparison purposes, this is my Neutrogena Hydro Boost, which is 1 ounce, which is typical for foundations, and then this is the NYX drop. So you can see there is a big size difference there as far as amount of product that you get. There are 24 shades in this line, just based on all the research that I've done online. It will set you back for $14, so it's mid-range. It's not too highly priced, and it's not too cheap either. It's about average for NYX, I feel. I picked up the shade Alabaster, so that was the lightest shade that I found in my local Ulta, so hopefully this will work for me. I'm going to go ahead and read the claims on the box here. It says, with just a few drops, our Total Control Drop Foundation delivers sheer to full coverage and a velvety matte finish. Okay, right there is going to be probably an issue for me. I can probably tell right off the bat just because I have dry skin, and matte usually doesn't work for me. So we shall see. Simply adjust the number of drops you use until the desired level of coverage is achieved. More drops equals more coverage. All right. So like I said before, on the back here of the box, it has kind of like a guide of how many drops to use. If you want light coverage, use 2 drops. For medium, use 3. And for full coverage, you're going to use 4 or more drops. So we shall see. The bottle, if I can open it, that'd be great. I have primer on my hands, so it's going to be hard to open. Okay. All right, I got it open. So that was a hassle and a half because my hands were greasy. Like I was saying, this is what the applicator, or I guess dispenser, really looks like in the bottle. It's just a dropper style foundation, and it tells me to shake well before use, so I'm going to go ahead and do that so I can get the full experience with this. Alright, and actually what I'm going to do to apply this today is I'm going to use the brush that also came out with this line. It's very dirty because I've been using it. In my previous foundation first impression video, I mentioned that I never use a foundation brush because I haven't found one that actually works and blends my makeup in. That changed like 2 days later after I filmed that video. I went to Ulta with my best friend who was visiting from California, and we were poking around, and I found the brush along with the foundation, which I actually ended up buying a few weeks later. But I figured I would give this brush a try because I've heard some pretty good things about it. So I picked it up. This also will set you back $14. This is their, the brush is just number 22. I forget exactly what it's called, but it does coincide with the dropper foundation in this line. I love this brush. Spoiler alert, I love this brush. I have not found a foundation brush that does the job for me, but this is great. It has a really cool shape to it. It's slanted. And for this foundation, specifically, you're supposed to drop the foundation in the brush itself and then swirl it on your face. I've been using it with other foundations because I haven't obviously used this one yet, just by dotting it on my face like I normally would and then swirling it in. And it does a really great job, especially with my my Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue like BB cream. It blends it in my skin very, very well. I can do my makeup a lot quicker in the morning with this if I'm only doing like a really sheer foundation. So, spoiler alert, I love this brush. I do recommend it if you are in the market for a new foundation brush. I even used it for concealer because of how slanted it is at the top here. This is good for getting right under your eye if you're just kind of wanting to stipple in your concealer and then maybe going back in with the Beauty Blender. Excuse me. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into the foundation application itself. I'm going to go for the medium coverage, so I'm going to use 3 drops to start off, and I'm actually going to do half of my face with the brush and the other half with my Beauty Blender to compare. Hopefully the lighting's okay. It's a really crappy day here where I live, so I did the best I could with my lighting. So let's go ahead and just get into this. So I'm going to follow the instructions and drop 3 drops on my brush, and I'm just going to start swirl. Okay, yeah, that didn't work. I lied. I think because my brush is kind of caked up with other foundations. I'm going to put 3 drops, 2, 3, on my face itself. Let me zoom you guys in here a little bit. Going to put 3 drops on my face itself, and now I'm going to swirl it in. Much better. So I'm going to do the right half of my face with the brush. And then go in with my Beauty Blender on the other side. It blends very nicely with the brush, I must say. I mean, gimmicky or not, it does blend pretty well with the brush. Now, I forgot to mention this before. I did use a primer. I'm using the NYX Q10 Renew Skin Elixir, which I found at Target on clearance for $1.50, so I figured I would try it. That feels very nice on the skin, so I am wearing a primer to give this foundation a fair shot. Alright. So, now that this is pretty much blended in, sorry for blocking you guys out. It feels very nice on the skin. It's going to be hard for you to tell the difference, but I have foundation on this side, nothing on this side. It's hard to tell. I don't have the best lighting. I'm working on it. It feels very nice on my skin, but it does kind of sink into my nose pores really weirdly, and I don't like anything that accentuates my pores like that. So I'm a little worried of how it's going to hold up right around the edge of my nose. But it feels really nice. And I wouldn't quite say 3 drops was medium coverage, but again, I don't have many imperfections that I need to cover, so I don't know if that's really a fair judgment, just because I don't have to cover too much redness or acne or anything like that, but, you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side of my face with my Beauty Blender, and I'm going to just do 3 drops again, 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to buff it in with my Beauty Blender. I can't tell if it's actually blending out or if my sponge is just soaking up all of the product. I think my sponge soaked up a lot of that product. Let me go ahead and add another drop. 2 drops. And spread it with my finger first. And then go in and blend it back out with my Beauty Blender. So it did cover, I have a big freckle, it's hard to see on my chin here. It did cover that pretty well. It's not like it's a super highly pigmented freckle or anything like that, but it did cover it, which I like because I don't really like that big freckle on my chin. Okay, I mean, I guess it's not too bad with the Beauty Blender. It definitely does not accentuate my dry skin. This is the side, you're not going to be able to tell. However, I do have some dry patches here and on my forehead. Even though I exfoliated, moisturized, primed, put my maracuja oil on my skin, it's just not a good day. My skin is just way too dry today. But the side that I did with the brush, it blended nicely. It just accentuated some of my dry patches a little more, and like I said, the pores in my nose, it clung to it a lot. I don't think you're going to be able to see it too well, but it did cling to those pores, and but on the Beauty Blender side, it doesn't cling to my pores as much in my nose, around my nose area, and it did blend really, really nicely and feels, they both feel about the same as far as how soft my skin feels. It does make my skin feel soft, and I wouldn't say this is a completely matte foundation. Like, it's more like a demi matte, so I still have a little bit of glow. As you can kind of see, some areas I have a little bit of glow. But overall, I definitely would blend it more with the Beauty Blender just because it's winter and my skin is super dry. So if you have dry skin, I would recommend a Beauty Blender for this foundation just based off my first impression. But it does do a good job of evening out your skin tone. But if you have large pores, I feel like it's going to really accentuate that, especially around your nose. So that makes me a little bit nervous. I'm personally not going to set this with a powder just because it's more of a matte finish and I don't need my skin to look even drier than it already is. But overall, I'd say that I do like the foundation. It would be more of like an everyday, when I'm getting ready for work, kind of go-to, just to add a little bit of evenness to my skin tone. Give me a nice base, make me look a little bit more put together. I love this brush, but I don't know why it didn't work very well for the foundation that it's made for, ironically enough. I like it for other foundations, but it just, I don't know. I guess it's just because my skin's super dry today. That could be why, so I don't know. I'll probably, when I'm editing this video later on today, I'll check in and type in the comments or like a little caption, my final yay or nay on this foundation based on how it wears throughout the day and all that fun stuff. But first impression, I definitely would prefer using a Beauty Blender. It does have a very, very nice soft finish to the skin, so that's definitely a perk to this foundation. I don't mind the dropper applicator. I prefer that over the doe foot that was in the Neutrogena one. I feel like this is a lot more clean as far as dispensing the product. The shade match is actually absolutely perfect for me. Again, I'm in the shade Alabaster, which was the lightest shade that I found at my Ulta. This shade is absolutely perfect for me. It's a perfect match. It's not too light, it's not too dark, there's no line of like orange or yellow. It's perfect. So it does have a great shade match, and again, there are 24 shades, so hopefully that everybody can find their match. But overall, I do like the finish of it. I like the way it feels on my skin. And I'm going to test it out throughout the day. I'm not really doing a whole lot and it's raining, so we'll see how much I do. And I will check in via caption in this video later on whether I give it a yay or a nay based on my review. So next, what I'm going to go ahead and do is clean off my Beauty Blender, and we're going to test the Away We Glow highlighter. So I will be right back in YouTube land. Ding! Alright, I'm back and I have wiped off my Beauty Blender a little bit, put my foundation away, and we're going to go ahead and do another first impression all in the same video just because they're the two new releases from NYX and I don't want to do a whole separate video just on this little guy. So, like I mentioned in my intro, this is the NYX Away We Glow Liquid Highlighter. And it comes in almost like a liquid lip format. You get 0.22 fluid ounces, and I mentioned before I got the shade Crystal Glare. And this had a decent amount of shade ranges as well. There was a white one, which I swatched and I was like, that's a little too glittery for me, too light even for me, as pale as I am. And there was just different like pinkier tones and more gold than this. I would say this is more like a pale rose gold. Champagne, I guess you could say. So I kind of thought that this would be perfect for my skin tone. But if it's not, it's going to go right back to the store. This will set you back $6.99 at Ulta. I got them on sale, the foundation and the highlighter on sale. They were buy one, get one half off. And I had a $3.50 off 15 coupon. So, let me get my receipt here. I ended up paying $10.02 for the liquid foundation that I just reviewed, and $4.60 for the Away We Glow. So if they are on sale for buy one get one and you have your $3.50 off 15, you're going to save yourself a good $4 on the foundation and almost $2 on the liquid highlight. So it is definitely a good deal. I'm going to go ahead and just mention the shelf life on this one since I did it for the foundation. This has a shelf life of 3 months. So after 3 months, if you don't use it, throw it away because it's going to start to go bad. Especially with products like this and liquid lips in this kind of format. Constantly dipping it back in and out, you're going to get bacteria from your face, whether or not you cleaned it. It's going to happen. Dipping it back in and out, the bacteria is going to build up. I know this is not something you guys want to hear. It's just the truth. And then they're going to start to go rancid after a while. So after 3 months, if you find yourself not touching it, you can give it a little bit of wiggle room. But if you're past that 3-month mark, or you're thinking back and can't remember when you bought it, chances are you bought it past the expiration. So just throw it away because it's going to go rancid. It's going to smell, and it's just going to be worse off for your skin. So after that tangent, we're going to go ahead and just get into testing this. The doe foot applicator that this comes with is a flat doe foot, which is very interesting. And I believe it's similar to, I think it's a L'Oreal lip gloss or something like that has like the flat doe foot applicator. So I actually kind of like that. But I'm going to go ahead and dip just to get it completely coated. And I'm just going to go ahead and highlight like I normally would. I'm going to dot it on the high points of my cheek. And you could probably use a brush, your finger, or a beauty blender for this. I'm just going to use my beauty blender since I went ahead and just cleaned it off. And I'm just going to tap that out. Ooh, that's actually really pretty. I don't know. You can kind of see the glow here. It's very subtle, which I like, because I don't like a super heavy highlight, especially if it's like an everyday kind of thing. I don't like going like full-on glam. If I'm going out, absolutely. But this is actually like the perfect shade for my skin tone. It's not too dark. It doesn't have a whole lot of color to it, but it has a really pretty natural sheen to it. And it mixes actually really well with the foundation as far as balancing out the demi-matte finish of that. It's a little tacky, but not in a bad way. It doesn't transfer back onto your finger after you've blended it out, so that's good. I don't like having like glitter and all that fun stuff on my finger. I'm just going to highlight my nose a little bit and see how that taps out with my finger. Oh wow, yeah. That blends really easily with your finger. You can kind of see the sheen on my nose. And that's actually really pretty. I'm going to go back over with my beauty blender. But I really like the finish of it. It's not glittery. It has a really nice sheen to it. Let me just go ahead and give you guys a close-up swatch. But it has a really beautiful sheen to it. It's not too thick and goopy. Like, it doesn't feel like a lip gloss. It feels like a really nice cream product. So you can see how really beautiful that sheen is on it. There it goes. And it's just a very beautiful pale rose gold, if I could talk that'd be great, rose gold shade. I'd say this is very good for those who are fair like myself, pale skin gals. Shout out to you. This would be very great for our type of skin tone. And it blends out like a dream. And it's perfect. I love it. It's a very great, subtle, everyday glow. I'm going to test this out along with the foundation for the rest of the day and see how long it lasts. Again, I'm not going to set myself with any powder. I'm not going to go over with a powder highlight, anything like that, just so I can give these two products a fair shot and let you know if I give them a yay or a nay in my book. And again, I'm going to update you guys via captions in my video somewhere whether or not I liked the product or not based on my first impression. So that is all I have for you guys today for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. My last first impression video seemed to do very well. So I'm really going to try and keep up with this kind of thing and do these first impressions for you guys, especially for products that are really hyped like this foundation was all over the internet. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to filming more in this little yay or nay series for you guys. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below of anything that you would like me to review or give my first impression of. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me wherever I put it on the screen. I appreciate all the love and the feedback I've been getting from everybody. I wouldn't be here without you guys, so thank you so much for all of your support. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care, guys.